Good morning, everyone. We want to get to some breaking news in Broadview right now. An ICE agent armed with what appears to be some sort of gun stands on top of the immigration processing facility in that suburb as protests against ICE escalate this morning. Now, this comes about an hour after agents first clashed with protesters this morning. Our Darius Johnson has been there for hours now. He was there when these agents first came out and started going into the crowd. Darius, what is the very latest?
Hey there, Dana. Good morning to you right now. This is probably the calmest that it's ever been all morning. They are now singing. They are now chanting. There is a voice going over the loudspeaker from this ICE federal facility, or this ICE processing facility behind us. Those agents that you mentioned on the roof, the guns that they were holding, those were guns with pepper balls, pepper bullets on the inside. They deployed those earlier this morning, and my photographer Luke Kleinberg and myself, we both got wind of it and started coughing a little bit, started tearing up. We're okay now. We've been working through a lot of it, as a lot of the protesters have been as well. Now, there have been some very tense moments this morning with people being dragged, arrested, and hit with pepper balls. Take a look at what happened around 6:15 this morning before the official protest got underway at 7.
Federal agents and officers
This was around 6:15 when ICE agents tried to move a vehicle from the parking lot. You could see protesters blocking them as they used their body as a chain on the street. At one point, agents started dragging and grabbing protesters on the ground to clear the path. One of those protesters was taken inside and has been inside ever since. You see that right there in that video. Now, and since then, those who are here, a part of this protest this morning, they say that they are calling for people to be released. They do not agree with what is happening. About 20 minutes later, right after this person was taken into custody, there was a woman who was pushed to the ground by ICE agents as they once again tried to move protesters out of the way. And then around 7 a.m., Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton spoke out about the operations taking place and said she does not agree with it. That is why she is here. Take a listen at what she had to say.
Here in Chicago, people being snatched off the streets, stuffed into unmarked vans, and with no due process. We are seeing the Constitution being stomped upon, and just this week, again, attacks on First Amendment rights. And all of us need to be speaking with moral clarity and saying this is not right.
Just last Friday, protesters faced off with heavily armed agents in military gear, some of whom were also dragged while holding a line to block those ICE agents from moving in and out of the facility. Others were hit by chemical agents and rubber or pepper bullets. Protesters say they are here to oppose Operation Midway Blitz, a federal crackdown being carried out by the Trump administration, which has now resulted in nearly 300 arrests since September 6th. Back out here live, Dana, as I mentioned, things are a lot calmer than they have been so far this morning. Again, you have many of the protesters who are here, who are chanting, who are singing. You can see Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton standing right here about 3 feet away from me right now. Again, she says that she is here to stand in solidarity with those who are here. She is not in agreement with people who have been detained. She's saying that the president says that he's going after the most violent criminals, but yet people are being arrested and detained while they are dropping their kids off at school or simply showing up for different hearings at certain courthouses. But organizers who are all here, who are a part of this protest, say this is just the beginning. They plan on being here until 9 o'clock this morning before the second protest is set to begin later on at 6 this evening. We've already seen this crowd grow in size from about a handful of people at 4:30 this morning to now it's upwards of at least 50. Dana Kozlov, I understand that you have a question. We're here to answer anything that you all may have, as it's a very fluid situation that's been happening throughout the morning.
Oh, understanding that for sure, Darius. Now, we know that immigration officials have been to date very secretive, I guess is a good word, about exactly who they're taking into custody. We know that they moved some people out of the way who were blocking those federal vehicles. But Darius, what I want to ask you is, we did see video of the one person being taken inside that facility in Broadview. Do we know who that person is?
That person was a protester. Again, that protester, if you're able to see it clearly from the video, I'm not sure if they were able to play that video back where I could possibly walk you through it, but that protester who was wearing that brown jacket, that protester was standing essentially right here. I'll kind of show you where it was all taking place. The protester was sitting on the ground, and as that protester was on the ground at that entrance there, as the vehicle tried to come out, the agents grabbed that protester, dragging that protester back essentially where I'm standing right now. That's when a lot of those chemical agents were deployed, and that's when my photographer and I started to take a lot of that on. That protester was dragged and then pushed to the ground at a certain point when it appeared that that protester grabbed a hold of one of those chemical agents trying to throw it back at the ICE agents. That's when they picked up that protester and took that protester inside. That was around 6:30 this morning, so it's been about an hour and a half. They've been calling for that person to be released. We haven't seen that person come out yet at this time.
Thank you for that recap. That's so important. But what I'm asking is, has anyone in that crowd identified that person? Do we know if that person is undocumented or here legally? Do we know where that person lives? That's kind of what I'm asking.
We don't know anything like that. The only thing that we know is the person who was out here is a protester who is here, and it appears that that protester is a U.S. citizen.
Okay. All right, Darius, thank you. I know you will stay on top of it as things are developing literally by the minute out there. Thank you so much for that report.